Hello guys, welcome back to this series on C programming. In this video, we will be learning about data type in C. More specifically, we will learn about different types of data variable, how to use them, which type to use. So let's get started. So data type determines two things. The first thing, the data type, the type of the data. The second thing, the size of a variable. So let's open our dev. We will be starting by the first program. Source file. The first thing, as we said, that we have to register our example. We change the extension to C. For example, we can write variable 1. The first thing that we have to do here is to write the basic structure of program C, like we learned in the previous video. Include studio.h int main. We open our bracket. So the first data type that we will learn is integer. Okay. Integer are whole numbers that can have both 0, positive and negative value, but not decimal value. For example, 0, -5, 10, etc. Let's declare the first variable, int, for example, age. This is our variable. The variable name is age. The type is integer. This is the first variable type that we will learn. Now we will affect a value. We will give a value to our variable. For example, it's equal to 22. To print this data as output, we have to call the function printf. If you don't understand this, you have to go back to the previous video in which we explain the structure of the basic program in C, printf, variables, etc. Let's execute. So here, as a result, we have 22. Let's add something. The age or the value inside the variable age is, to be more clear, so we have here the value inside the variable age is 22. Okay, this is the first type that we learned. Integer, it's for numbers. For example, negative or positive number. For example, let's take another value. For example, int temperature, and temperature is equal to -10, for example. Here we will printf the value inside the variable temperature is temperature. So you can see here the value inside the variable age is 22. The value inside the variable temperature is -10. Let's here add /n to go to new line. So we have here the value inside the variable age is 22. The value inside the variable temperature is -10. So I repeat again, the type integer is used for numbers, negative or positive numbers, okay? And the size of integer is always 4 bytes. So the size of the integer, if you have a variable like for example age or temperature with the type integer, the size of this variable in the memory location is 4 bytes. Okay. Now let's go to the second type. The second type that we have is float. So float, let's open a new file, register the file, change the extension, variable 2. We will just copy this program we need the basic structure. Just we are going to take the basic structure. Don't forget to register. Now the second type that we are learning now is float. Float and double. We are going to learn float and double. Float and double, they are used to hold real number. In C, floating point number can also be represented in exponential, for example. But let's start with float. Float, salary, and double, price. Okay. Here, salary, it's equal to 2,525, and here we have price, it's equal to 100, for example. Let's printf the values, our variables. The value of salary is %f salary. Let's try this example. We have here a problem and declared it. So here, double price yes, we are expecting here semicolon. Here you can see the value of the salary is 25. This is the float number. Now, let's write the second. We are going to use %d also for price. Sorry, here it's LF. Here we have the value of salary, and this is our result. So the only difference between, let me add here, the only difference between the float and the double is that the float is written with 4 bytes, but for the double is written with 8 bytes in the memory location. So if you have a variable with decimal, so you have to use float. If you have big numbers, you have to use double. If you have to show a big number like more than 6 or 7 characters, you have to use double. Okay, this is the only difference between float and double. So to repeat here, we have integer for positive or negative small numbers. We have float for a decimal number, like salary, like percentage or something like that. For double, we have for the big numbers. Yeah, general, we are using too much integer and float. After float and number, after float and double, now we are going to use char. We have char as new data type. Register this example. We have here, save as, change the extension, variable 3, for example. We copy the basic structure of the C programming. Character. The third type here is character. It's used to use character like letter or like uppercase, lowercase, or like symbols. So we use char as type, as our third type to declare characters. So it's char, the type is char. Name, for example, the name of my variable will be name, equal to, for the character, it must be between brackets, so we have set, for example. Now we will printf %c. For the character, it must be %c, and we have here name. We execute here, we have Z. You can see here the letter Z. Okay, so to use character or to use symbols, we have to use the data type character. This is for this lesson of data type, so I will repeat again. We have the basic data type that we are using too much. Integer is using for positive or negative numbers. We have the second float if we have decimal number. We have double if you have big numbers, and we have character if you have letter or symbols. Thank you so much for listening to this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any question, please write on comment or send me by email. Thank you so much, and see you in next video.